Well, I'm Stuart, and I'm a GP. It's a weird clap for the NHS PTSD flashback going on here. I always wanted to be a doctor, but not really enough to get on with it, which I think is just the sort of lackadaisical attitude you really want with someone with your life in his hands. So instead of becoming a doctor, I became a scientist. Thank you. I did a bachelor's degree, and because I had no idea what to do, I did a master's degree. And because I had no idea what to do, I did a PhD. And because I had no idea what to do, I did a postdoc. And because I had no... and then I did a proper job. A real proper job. I worked in industry for an awful, stressful, deeply depressing year. God, I hate Cambridge. Thank you. Thank you. Give me a cheer if you hate Cambridge. I wasn't expecting that one, but I love it. My boss was an ideas ham. Was an ideas man. Give me a cheer if you've ever worked for an ideas man. I feel your pain. Note that it's always an ideas man. It's not an ideas woman. Because ideas women, they just get shit done. But ideas men, thank you. Ideas men, it goes a bit like this. Boss, Stu, deep voice. Stu, I was having a piss when I had one of my brilliant ideas. Me, I can't wait to hear it, boss. Boss, it came to me, really deep voice, like a gift of pure clarity. Me, you don't say. Boss, like a sparkling diamond of prescience. Me, yes? Yes? Boss, the kind of idea so simple that no one has ever thought of it before. The kind of idea that will change the world. Just trying to remember what the idea was. No, me. Boss, tell me, please. Boss, Stu, I think we should cure cancer. That was brilliant, brilliant. I was like, boss, that's fantastic. That's so good. Boss, I thought you'd like it, Stu. Do you mind just workshopping it a little bit and just sorting it out for me in the next couple of weeks? Yes, it's like that with an ideas man. It didn't go great. A few months later, the boss decided to reorganize the group I was in. So we had a lovely little meeting to discuss this. A one-to-one, it was me, him, and someone from HR. And then he gave me a 10-minute presentation on the restructure. It was brilliant. It was complete with, like the why, and then he presented an organigram. Does anybody know what an organigram is? Give me a I don't know, whoop, if you know what it is. Some of you do, some of you don't. It's a picture. It's got the names, it's got arrows. It tells you who does what and who works for who, or who works for whom. I don't know, the less pedants we upset, the better. That's just such a good job. Oh, I'll let that one float. Okay. Anyway, he finished with the organigram, and he asked me genuinely, because he was a man with passion, Stu. Stu. I think he was waiting for me to sort of praise him on the brilliant reorg. He went, Stu, what do you think of it? Well, guys, I wasn't on the fucking chart! Seriously, oh, Jesus. God, I hate Cambridge. Look, it was probably for the best. Industry wasn't really for me. I left with my soul crushed, but 6 months salary compensation. So, and because I had no idea what to do, I decided to become a doctor. And I think that's exactly the kind of doctor you want. Someone who became a doctor because he couldn't decide what to do with his life. So I got into med school. I was 33 when I got into med school. And the other kids, the young ones, they used to call me granddad. Fuckers. And med school is a strange beast. Med school does not teach you to be a doctor. Med school teaches you to be ready to be taught to be a doctor. Honestly, it's a bit like doing A-levels for 5 years and then being told, oh, that's fantastic. Should we start teaching you some medicine now? Anyway, it was fun. It was fun. It's fun being a medical student because you get to pretend to be a hero without any of the responsibilities. So I was, you go around ward rounds with the consultant, and you're sort of like joshing with the consultants, exchanging funny stories. Meanwhile, one of the junior doctors is peeling off to find a bathroom to have a quiet cry in, Or you get to be in the operating theatre, and you get to feel like you've saved someone's life because, well, you've turned some pages around. No, you get to feel like you've saved someone's life because in the middle of a complex 9-hour operation, you held a clamp for 30 seconds. And then 6 minutes later, you left because you were feeling really sick. Anyway, I finished med school. I survived junior doctor. I trained to be a GP. And because I had no idea what to do, I became a clinical research fellow. Yeah, thanks. A clinical research fellow at QMUL. Shh. It's like having undergraduates. I became a clinical research fellow, which is basically like being a scientist, except I get paid more than you guys. Sorry. Not sorry. Where was I? And my thing is hypertension, blood pressure, high blood pressure. Blood pressure is if you don't have any, it's bad, you're dead. But if you have too much, it's not great either. It's like plumbing. It destroys your pipes and your appliances, and it's not great. And my thing is to work out why some people who have hypertension get the right treatment, get the right help, get the right effort, and then have control high blood pressure, and others don't. It's called health inequity. And what we really want is health equity. It means everybody gets the same opportunity to have the same good outcome. So health equity is not the same thing as health equality, which is a little bit difficult to understand. So here's how I'm going to explain it to you. Snow White. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. What do they do? Oh, yeah. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs walk past a Taylor Swift concert, which is unexpectedly sold out. But they find a gap in the security fence, and so they all cluster around it, and Snow White, she's actually really tall, Snow White, she sits down, she can see, and Taylor Swift is absolutely crushing it, looking fantastic, singing stuff, And Grumpy, who's the tallest of the 7 dwarfs, but he can't see anything, and let alone the other 6 who are even shorter, they can't see shit. So, health equality is you give everybody a stool. And suddenly, Snow White can see even more. She can see the whole stage. The background singers, Taylor Swift's on a 94th costume change, and she's absolutely... Grumpy can see the stage, so he's happy. He. And the other 6 can't see anything. That's equity. Equality. Okay, here's equity. Equity is you give Grumpy a stool, you give the 6 other dwarves a stepladder, and you give Snow White fuck all. And everybody gets to see the stage more or less the same. That's great. The alternative is you cut Snow White's legs off. And then nobody can see shit. Which is the Tory way of doing health. And then Rishi sells off the legs to his mates. Just brought up the Legs Are Us website. Anyway, who better to talk to you about health inequities than a white, heteronormative, middle-aged Waitrose shopping male with a lanyard ally. Yeah. So look, not everybody fares so well. If you have hypertension and you're young, which is less than 50, so I'm young. Fuck you, granddad. So if you're young and you're black, you're much less likely to have controlled blood pressure. It's sort of, you just don't. You have a bum deal, which is not fair, he said, gaining time while flicking through pages. And it sucks, quite frankly. But if no one has told you have no hypertension, if no one has taken the time to explain why it's a problem, no one has given you the help and advice, no one has discussed taking medicine with you and why it's important, no one has made you access this help freely, effectively, appropriately, and adapted to your needs, that's on me. That's on the NHS, that's on the government, and that sucks. There's nothing funny in that paragraph whatsoever. I'm sorry, it's very true, but sometimes you've got to say what you got to say. Except if it's a Tory mini-budget announcement, and then you should really shut the fuck up. I've been Stuart, you've been great. Thank you very much.